Adolf Hitler, German, Ad. LFH? TL? Listen, April 20, 1889, April 30, 1945, was a German politician and leader of the Nazi Party, Nationalsozialistische Deutsche Arbeiterpartei, NSDAP. He rose to power as the Chancellor of Germany in 1933 and then as Führer in 1934. During his dictatorship from 1933 to 1945, he initiated World War II in Europe by invading Poland on September 1, 1939. He was closely involved in military operations throughout the war and was central to the perpetration of the Holocaust. Hitler was born in Austria, then part of Austria-Hungary, and was raised near Linz. He moved to Germany in 1913 and was decorated during his service in the German Army in World War I. In 1919, he joined the German Workers' Party, DAP, the precursor of the NSDAP, and was appointed leader of the NSDAP in 1921. In 1923, he attempted to seize power in a failed coup in Munich and was imprisoned. In jail, he dictated the first volume of his autobiography and political manifesto Mein Kampf, My Struggle. After his release in 1924, Hitler gained popular support by attacking the Treaty of Versailles and promoting pan-Germanism, anti-Semitism and anti-communism with charismatic oratory and Nazi propaganda. He frequently denounced international capitalism and communism as part of a Jewish conspiracy. By November 1932, the Nazi Party had the most seats in the German Reichstag but did not have a majority. As a result, no party was able to form a majority parliamentary coalition in support of a candidate for chancellor. Former Chancellor Franz von Papen and other conservative leaders persuaded President Paul von Hindenburg to appoint Hitler as chancellor on January 30, 1933. Shortly after, the Reichstag passed the Enabling Act of 1933, which began the process of transforming the Weimar Republic into Nazi Germany, a one-party dictatorship based on the totalitarian and autocratic ideology of National Socialism. Hitler aimed to eliminate Jews from Germany and establish a new order to counter what he saw as the injustice of the post-World War I international order dominated by Britain and France. His first 6 years in power resulted in rapid economic recovery from the Great Depression, the abrogation of restrictions imposed on Germany after World War I, and the annexation of territories inhabited by millions of ethnic Germans, which gave him significant popular support. Hitler sought Lebensraum, living space, for the German people in Eastern Europe, and his aggressive foreign policy is considered the primary cause of World War II in Europe. He directed large-scale rearmament and, on September 1, 1939, invaded Poland, resulting in Britain and France declaring war on Germany. In June 1941, Hitler ordered an invasion of the Soviet Union. By the end of 1941, German forces and the European Axis powers occupied most of Europe and North Africa. These gains were gradually reversed after 1941, and in 1945 the Allied armies defeated the German army. On April 29, 1945, he married his longtime lover Eva Braun. Less than 2 days later, the couple committed suicide to avoid capture by the Soviet Red Army. Their corpses were burned. Under Hitler's leadership and racially motivated ideology, the Nazi regime was responsible for the genocide of about 6 million Jews and millions of other victims whom he and his followers deemed untermenschen, subhumans, or socially undesirable. Hitler and the Nazi regime were also responsible for the killing of an estimated 19.3 million civilians and prisoners of war. In addition, 28.7 million soldiers and civilians died as a result of military action in the European theater. The number of civilians killed during World War II was unprecedented in warfare, and the casualties constitute the deadliest conflict in history. Hitler's actions and Nazi ideology are almost universally regarded as gravely immoral. According to Ian Kershaw, never in history has such ruination, physical and moral, been associated with the name of one man. 4. Hitler's father Alois Hitler Sr., 1837–1903, was the illegitimate child of Maria Anna Schicklgruber. 5. The baptismal register did not show the name of his father, and Alois initially bore his mother's surname Schicklgruber. In 1842, Johann Georg Hitler married Alois's mother Maria Anna. Alois was brought up in the family of Hitler's brother, Johann Nepomuk Hitler. 6. In 1876, Alois was legitimated and the baptismal register changed by a priest to register Johann Georg Hitler as Alois's father, recorded as Georg Hitler. 7–8, Alois then assumed the surname Hitler, 8, also spelled Heidler, Huttler, or Huetteler. The name is probably based on one who lives in a hut, German hut for hut. 9. Nazi official Hans Frank suggested that Alois' mother had been employed as a housekeeper by a Jewish family in Graz, and that the family's 19-year-old son Leopold Frankenberger had fathered Alois. 10. No Frankenberger was registered in Graz during that period, and no record has been produced of Leopold Frankenberger's existence. 11. So historians dismiss the claim that Alois' father was Jewish. 1213. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889 in Braunau am Inn, a town in Austria-Hungary, in present-day Austria, close to the border with the German Empire. 14. He was christened as Adolphus Hitler. 15. He was the fourth of 6 children born to Alois Hitler and his third wife, Clara Paulsel. 3 of Hitler's siblings, Gustav, Ida, and Otto, died in infancy. 16. Also living in the household were Alois's children from his second marriage, Alois Jr., born 1882, and Angela, born 1883. 17. When Hitler was 3, the family moved to Passau, Germany. 18. There he acquired the distinctive Lower Bavarian dialect, rather than Austrian German, which marked his speech throughout his life. 1920-21, the family returned to Austria and settled in Leonding in 1894, and in June 1895 Alois retired to Hoffeld, near Lambeek, where he farmed and kept bees. Hitler attended Volksschule, a state-owned primary school, in nearby Fischlham. 22-23. The move to Hoffeld coincided with the onset of intense father-son conflicts caused by Hitler's refusal to conform to the strict discipline of his school. 24. His father beat him, although his mother tried to protect him. 25. Alois Hitler's farming efforts at Hoffeld ended in failure, and in 1897 the family moved to Lambeek. The 8-year-old Hitler took singing lessons, sang in the church choir, and even considered becoming a priest. 26. In 1898 the family returned permanently to Leonding. Hitler was deeply affected by the death of his younger brother Edmund, who died in 1900 from measles. Hitler changed from a confident, outgoing, conscientious student to a morose, detached boy who constantly fought with his father and teachers. 27. Alois had made a successful career in the Customs Bureau, and wanted his son to follow in his footsteps. 28. Hitler later dramatized an episode from this period when his father took him to visit a customs office, depicting it as an event that gave rise to an unforgiving antagonism between father and son, who were both strong-willed. 29-30-31, ignoring his son's desire to attend a classical high school and become an artist, Alois sent Hitler to the Realschule in Linz in September 1900. B-32, Hitler rebelled against this decision, and in Mein Kampf states that he intentionally did poorly in school, hoping that once his father saw what little progress I was making at the technical school he would let me devote myself to my dream.